very happy to be here and with such great people. I thought there were 3 things we could do just to kind of set the stage before I get going into it. 1, can we agree this is quality time? This is quality time, isn't it? So let's just be here, right?
Yeah.
I know sometimes I'm thinking about the snack I'm gonna have when I get home, but let's just be here. And number 2, I totally forgot what number 2 is. Number 2 is, this is a two-way conversation. At this point, I'm doing most of the talking, that's my half, but your half, which is really helpful, is if you kind of like smile and nod and show me that you're in it. Can we show? Yeah? Okay, warm up your faces. Dawn did a great job warming us up, so I feel like we're warm. And number 3, I gotta ask for permission. There's only one thing I can do perfectly, and that's be me. Can I just be me tonight?
Yeah!
We're just free to be ourselves. We're all great, we're all friends, we're all cool here. All right, my story is one of positivity. My story starts in the middle of a natural disaster. It was August 30th, 2023, and I was on the counters of my kitchen with my 60-pound dog, Delaware, on the telephone, begging the power woman to please cut the line. Ma'am, please, you have to cut the line. I'm sorry, ma'am, we only can turn off the power to our house when there's a confirmed work order. Ma'am, my house is flooding, I'm gonna get electrocuted. She finally turned off electricity. Water had poured into our home. Hurricane Idalia flooded my neighborhood. Feet of water outside, the water gushed inside. Electricity sparked and popped before she could turn it off. The refrigerator started spewing smoke. The fire alarms went off. My dog gave me that look. She's pretty loyal, but even she knew this was pretty bad. As we waited out the rest of the flood with the power cut off and the water sloshing around the house, I laid on my kitchen counter, knowing what was ahead of us. Those were some really tough hours. But I'm here to tell you this. To overcome those unexpected challenges, you have to practice your positive. And that's what I did. It started when I got in the game. I got in the game of having a positive mindset by getting punched in the face. Sometimes you just need it, right? I just needed it. When I was 24, I walked into Larry Holmes' boxing gym and said, I want to sign up to be an amateur competitive boxer. And gee whiz, they took me. And I spent time with some of the toughest guys. I was the only woman there who was competing. Guys would come up and be like, you here on work release? Parole? No, not yet, sir. And did my thing. And you know, being surrounded by those men taught me something. Boxers are crazy, super positive people. You would not think they're the rainbow, sunshine, hang on their kitten kind of people, but they are. In boxing, you don't lose, you don't get the win. You almost had it. Let's just tweak your training plan. Let's get back to it. Because boxers know that if you're going to do something as difficult as stepping in the ring week after week, getting hurt week after week and showing up, that you have to protect your positive mindset. And isn't life like that? One thing after another. How much more can I take? I'm not strong enough. I can't go on. I can't do this anymore. But yet we have to. So that was number 1. I got in the game. I realized that my positive mindset was all that I had. Number 2, I realized that everything is really just practice, right? That's all we have. Life is one long practice session. If it weren't, then you would have a perfect, beautiful, loving day, and poof, right? The game would be over. There would be no more. But even after your best day, hopefully there's still a tomorrow. And even after your worst day, hey, guess what? Hopefully there's still a tomorrow. Practice is all we have. Everything we do is practice. Do you want to get good at public speaking?
Yeah.
Practice. Do you want to be healthier?
Yes.
Practice. How to get better at anything. And so I realized it was just practice. And once I realized it was practice and I practiced my way through yoga and being a mom and my job and boxing, I could practice my way through a positive mindset. It gives us the grace to not be perfect, but to keep showing up. There is a humility there to practice that was just so valuable. And then number 3, I made it a team sport. I've always been a rugged individual. I can do anything. I don't need anybody. But 10 months before my house flooded, I lost my job. It was a big job. It was my first vice president job. I really thought I was kind of hot stuff. It felt pretty good. 10 months later when I got laid off, I was really tempted to go and hide in a little circle of shame, to isolate, but instead, I plugged into community. I started volunteering. I joined groups. I made friends. I realized that the cashier at the grocery store is just the person too that we can chat to. So number 3, I made it a team sport. I plugged into community. And then, let's take you back to that flood. There's something I didn't tell you about that morning. After I was rescued and reunited with my daughter, we spent a lovely evening cuddling and spending quality time and just having fun together and just being together. And it was 9 o'clock, we were brushing our teeth, and she said, "Hey Mom, can I have your phone?" And she was only 6 at the time, and so I thought it was unusual. She wanted my phone, and I said, "Sure, Claire, why do you want my phone?" And she said, "I want to take a picture, because today was such a fun day." And it was the very, very same day, right? That morning I was laying on the counter of my house, smoke, alarms blaring, not knowing what I was going to do. And here my daughter was, because I had practiced my positive mindset before I needed it, all she saw was gratitude, all she saw was love, all she saw was joy. And that is what I want to share with you. To transform and overcome those obstacles, you have to practice your positive before you need it. And so even in natural disaster, I gained more than I lost because I did this. And so I'm asking you, what will you practice?